Blaziken is an incredible Pokemon inside of the game right now. I'm going to break down for you everything you need to know about Blaziken, ranging from its items and emblems, along with some tips you should use inside of your matches, so that you can become the best Blaziken player possible. If you would like to influence the next Pokemon features on these guides, I'm posting polls in the community tab after the release of each guide, and if you want a specific Pokemon, let me know and it will be featured in the next poll. Starting off, I'll tell you what each move does with Blaziken, starting with its ability. Blaze is what you see when you're auto-attacking with Blaziken. When you land 5 autos on a target, it will do bonus damage and heal you a bit, and it will do more healing if you're below half HP. Blaziken is very different from every Pokemon available. This is because, as you will know, it doesn't really have a Unite move. The Unite move that you do get at level 8 essentially works as a third move that rotates the style that Blaziken is in. When Blaziken is in kick style, which is what you're locked into before you get your Unite move, auto attacks have a larger range. But when in punch style, there is a 40% increase to your attack speed of all your autos. What is interesting to know is that these auto attack styles are not actually locked before you get your Unite, because Torchic uses punching style and Combusken uses kicking style. The starting moves are of course quite simple. Ember does damage and halves the movement speed, and Aerial Ace is a small damaging dash that attacks twice when it lands. When evolving, Combusken gets Blaze Kick, a move that does damage and moves the enemy in the direction that you hit them, and will stun them if you hit them against a wall. But remember, the move can't pass through walls. Once it evolves again, Blaziken gets its arguably best move, Overheat, which charges up to do big burst damage, making it possibly the best non-Unite secure move in the game, which you will see later. What I didn't mention about the Unite move before is that it also has 2 variants depending on the style Blaziken is in. When in kicking style, that being the Blaze Kick and Overheat variant, it becomes Spinning Flame Fist, which does some damage and boosts movement speed along with a small shield. Then when in punching style, it becomes Spinning Flame Kick, which does the same, except instead of speed, it boosts attack, which also leads to a little combo you can do where if you use your Spinning Flame Kick into an Overheat, it will do even more damage. When in this punch style, it swaps its moves to Focus Blast, a small AoE blast that reduces the speed of the targets it hits, and Fire Punch, a move that can hit twice just like Aerial Ace, but the direction of the move can also be changed during the move. The upgraded versions of these moves I'll go over quickly. Blaze Kick increases the length of the stun and the movement speed decrease. Overheat increases damage, which makes it all the more important to get level 13 at the Rayquaza fight. Fire Punch increases damage, and Focus Blast increases the effects of the movement speed debuff. Now onto the items. A lot can work for this Pokemon, but you'll do best with the following items: Muscle Band, Razor Claw, Scope Lens, Weakness Policy, Charging Charm, and Focus Band. You can also stack pretty well with this Pokemon, so if that's your playstyle, go for it. For emblems, the 6 browns, 6 white is of course great with this Pokemon, like it is on almost everything. But now onto the breakdown. Before I say anything about this game, I'd like to mention a tip that I forgot to use during this game. Your Overheat can be moved with your eject button. Make sure that you're using the eject button in your build so that you can move your attack to catch people off guard that may think you're out of range. Here I pick Ember as my starting move to make sure I have something to secure with. In this case, Aerial Ace is too risky as you throw yourself at the farm, leaving you open to the enemy. I let my Comfey take the farm here as they have XP share. XP share, that I've stated many times in these videos so far, gives an ally 100% and the user 30%, so I let them take the farm so that we can get the most experience possible. I'm trying to assist my team here, but as soon as I know they have it handled, I go straight to where the Baltoy will spawn at 9 minutes, so that I can take it out and be back to the centre of the lane in time for the Altaria spawn at 8 minutes and 50 seconds. Unfortunately, the Doublade jumps into us and it takes the attention away from the Altaria cluster, but it ends up being okay because they overextend and we get the XP, getting me to my level 5, and I can swoop in and steal the Altaria with my Blaze Kick. After we score here, I then backtrack to get the remaining points to make it easier for us to overcap later in the game. I notice here that it's getting closer to the 8-minute mark, which is when the central Altarias will spawn, and our jungler, the Leafeon, is trapped in the Meanlock. so I leave the fight and head up to take the farm before the other team can get it. Now that I have my evolution, my next plan is to get a level 8 so I have my unite move ready for the Reggie spawn at 7 minutes, so that I can swap between my moves and have an easier time in the potential team fight or securing the objective. At first, I signal for the rest of the team to come down, but because they later get distracted with the other team, I tell the person I'm playing with to stay up top.
I just stay up there, you might not need to.
I do this for 2 reasons. One, because there's already 2 enemies fighting in the top lane, meaning the maximum people that could come down is 3. And if you were paying attention, you would have seen a sizable level lead that we had in our lane and their jungler. And of course, nobody was in sight at the moment, so we could easily farm down the Reggie with the combined DPS of Leafeon and Blaziken. Also, if you're enjoying this video, if you could subscribe, that would be greatly appreciated. I do try and get these videos out as fast as possible, but my ultimate goal here is to make you the best Unite player that you can be. So being bigger on the platform would help me a lot with getting this out to more people. Top lane have stalled for long enough for us to reach them, and so we can now work together to either farm down the Reggie before they react, or deal with the enemies and then take the Reggie down without a threat. In the end, half the team stays near the goal ready for anyone to run in, and I'll begin to burn through the Reggie with the Chandelier to take it out. An extra note here, their jungler Aegislash was down in the bottom lane just scoring points. Please don't do this in your matches. The most important thing in Unite is to stay with your team, especially during a key objectives such as Reggie's or the Rayquaza. We will move as a team down to the Reggie so that we're ready for when it spawns. As you can see here, I have my overheat ready. You're going to want to release the overheat when the Reggie has roughly 12% remaining health. Luckily, nobody else was here, because in this clip, I was a little late to release my overheat, and so the Leafeon got the last hit, which is still good, but it isn't good for me as a player. This is why reflecting on your matches, especially losing games, is great for improvement. Right here is a great example of when you should use overheat. Unlike the last one, it was actually timed well, and so even if the enemy tried to steal it, I would have secured the Aleki for our team. Here I was going to leave to get my health back, but I cancel the release as I have the opportunity to steal their boosts here in their jungle, so I have to take that opportunity. Again, we're moving as a team and taking objectives together. With this big of a lead, it is less important to get objectives, but it's still incredibly vital that you steal it so that the enemy doesn't have it, because even just a Reggie can snowball the end of the game. At this point, I can see there's a lot of enemies approaching, and so I move to the right side of the Reggie to potentially attack any of the enemies that try and steal. If this were to happen, the team's priority would be to take them out and not to keep getting the Reggie lower. Otherwise, you threaten the enemies stealing the Reggie. They do surrender in this game, but what I would have done is again make sure that when the Rayquaza gets low, I have my overheat ready so that I can secure. That's going to be it for today's video. If you enjoyed this one, I've made guides for other Pokemon already, such as Dragonite and Umbreon, which are on screen now.